It was a cold evening in November when Daniel noticed her for the first time. He was sitting in his old pickup truck, waiting for his son, Liam, to finish his shift at the small diner they both worked at part-time. Daniel had just returned from his second job as a delivery driver. His back ached, his hands were rough, and his heart felt heavier than ever. Life had been hard since his wife, Emma, passed away 3 years ago. Raising a teenage boy alone wasn't easy, especially when money was always short and hope even shorter. That's when he saw her, the girl in the wheelchair. She sat quietly near the dumpster behind the diner, a thin blanket wrapped around her shoulders. Her clothes were worn, her face pale, but her eyes, those deep, dark eyes, held something he couldn't quite explain. Every night, she would come just as the staff started throwing out leftovers. And every night, she would politely ask whoever was closing up, "Please, could I have what's left? I don't need much." Most people ignored her, pretending not to hear. But Liam had told his dad that she always said thank you, even if she got nothing. That night, Daniel couldn't take his eyes off her. He watched as the girl reached for a paper bag of cold fries someone had tossed away. She carefully packed them into a small box on her lap, whispering softly as if talking to herself or maybe to someone else. Then she rolled away, disappearing into the dark alley. Something about that image stayed with him long after he drove home. The next night, Daniel returned earlier than usual. Again, he saw her. This time, he decided to follow her not out of curiosity, but out of a strange, unexplainable concern. She looked too young, too fragile to be out there alone. She moved slowly through the uneven streets, her old wheelchair squeaking with every push. Daniel kept his distance as she turned into a narrow lane behind an abandoned building. The place looked like it hadn't seen life in years, broken windows, cracked walls, and the faint sound of the wind howling through empty rooms. He parked his truck quietly and stepped out, his breath misting in the cold air. The girl stopped at the entrance, looked around, and slipped inside. Daniel followed, careful not to startle her. Inside, what he saw made his throat tighten. There, in the dim light of a flickering candle, sat 2 small children, maybe 6 or 7 years old, huddled together under a torn blanket. Their faces lit up the moment the girl rolled in. "Did you get something today, Anna?" the little boy asked eagerly. "Yes, Jamie," she whispered, smiling weakly. "We've got fries tonight. And look, a bit of bread too." The children clapped their hands, their eyes shining. Anna handed them the food gently, making sure they ate first. Only when they finished did she take a small bite herself. Daniel's chest ached. This girl, whom people dismissed as a beggar, was caring for 2 children on her own, with nothing. He watched for a few moments longer before quietly stepping back into the night. That image haunted him. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat. The next morning, he told Liam everything. "Dad, we have to help her," Liam said immediately. "We can't just watch." So they did. That evening, Daniel packed some warm food, clothes, and a few blankets. He and Liam drove to the same spot and waited. When Anna appeared, Daniel approached her slowly. "Hi there," he said gently. "I've seen you here a few times. My name's Daniel. I brought some food for you and the kids." Anna looked up, startled. Her hands trembled. "How do you know about them?" "I saw you last night," he admitted softly. "You don't have to be scared. I just want to help." For a long moment, she said nothing. Then her eyes filled with tears. "No one's ever wanted to help us before." Daniel knelt beside her wheelchair. "You don't have to go through this alone." That night, for the first time in months, Anna and the children ate a full, warm meal. Daniel and Liam stayed until the kids fell asleep. Anna told them her story in a quiet, broken voice. She had been paralyzed from the waist down after a car accident 2 years earlier. Her parents had died in that same crash. The 2 children, Jamie and Lily, were her younger siblings. With no relatives willing to take them in, they had ended up on the streets. She begged for leftovers to feed them, refusing to let the kids starve even if it meant going hungry herself. "I tried asking for work," she said, tears rolling down her cheeks. "But who would hire someone like me?" Daniel clenched his fists. Life could be cruel, but this? This was beyond unfair. Over the next few weeks, Daniel and Liam made it their mission to help Anna. They brought food every evening, got her a proper wheelchair, and even cleaned up the abandoned room so it was safe and warm. Slowly, Anna began to smile again. The children laughed more. For the first time, their little home didn't feel like a place of despair, it felt like family. But the biggest change came when Daniel decided to take a step further. One morning, he went to the diner owner, Mr. Harris, a kind man with a strict face, and told him about Anna. She doesn't want charity, Daniel said firmly. She wants to work. She just needs a chance. Mr. Harris thought for a long moment, then nodded. Bring her in. We'll find something she can do. When Daniel told Anna, she burst into tears. You mean I can really work again? You can do anything, Daniel said with a smile. And she did. Anna started helping at the diner's front desk, answering calls, managing orders, and handling customers. She was smart, polite, and full of warmth. Within a month, she became everyone's favorite. Customers came back not just for the food, but for her kindness. With her first paycheck, Anna bought school supplies for Jamie and Lily. They're going to have a better life, she said proudly. Daniel watched her that day, his heart swelling with something he hadn't felt in a long time, hope. One evening, as they all sat together at the diner after closing, Liam whispered, Dad, you look happier lately. Daniel smiled. I am, son. You know, I thought I was the one helping them. But the truth is, they helped me remember what it means to care again. As months passed, Anna's life transformed. With Daniel's help, she found a small apartment near the diner. The kids went to school. She continued working and even started volunteering at a local shelter, helping other homeless people get back on their feet. One day, she told Daniel, when you first followed me, I thought I'd done something wrong. But now I know you were sent to us for a reason. Daniel chuckled softly. Maybe we were sent to each other. Years later, the story of the paralyzed girl who fed her siblings from leftovers became an inspiration in their town. Reporters covered it, donations poured in, and Anna used part of it to open a small charity kitchen, Emma's Table, named after Daniel's late wife. It served free meals to anyone in need, no questions asked. Standing beside her at the opening ceremony, Daniel couldn't help but feel proud. Emma would have loved this, he whispered. Anna smiled, her eyes glistening. She'd be proud of you too. The crowd clapped, the ribbon was cut, and for a moment, the world felt right. Daniel looked at Anna, Jamie, Lily, and his son all standing together and realized something profound. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about the people who find each other when life falls apart. That night, as the lights of Emma's Table glowed in the cold air, Daniel whispered to himself, maybe miracles don't come with thunder or angels. Maybe they come quietly, in the form of a hungry girl who just wanted leftovers. And for the first time in years, he smiled with peace in his heart.